Welcome everyone to the EED webinar number 3, Know the Games Your Clients Play. And it is April 5th, 2018. And we have joining us, we have Alina and Aida and Cesar calling from Romania. We have Philippe from Luxembourg. We have Irene from Italy. Is that correct?
Yes.
We have Bettina calling from Berlin, and we have Katarina calling from New York. So welcome, everyone. And this is focusing on what I'm calling games. Now, in EED, you learn several levels of awareness. Most coaches learn if you're CTI trained or if you're a psychologist or from other trainings, they usually focus on 3 levels of listening. For example, I'm focused on myself, I'm focused directly on the other person, or I'm aware or listening to my environment, what's around me or around us. EED goes 5 levels further. All right, and I don't need to name all 8 levels, and we call them levels of awareness because it is more than just listening. You are involved and you're responding and you're affected in these levels. So this is why they're levels of awareness. It might even be better called spheres of awareness or bubbles, because with each level you keep expanding your awareness to include more and more of what's around you, meaning you interact with what's around you. This is focusing on what we call the relationship awareness, the relationship dynamic. This is where the games get played. This is level 4. It's what's happening between you and another person. So yes, you can be aware of the person directly in front of you, but then you need to become aware of what's happening between you. I'll break down some of the elements of what to look for. But this is what we're calling the relationship dynamic. The relationship has its own character, its own behavior. And what's included in the dynamic is what we call a game, or there are many games that can be played. We play games with each other. This is where we may try to manipulate each other, use each other for good or for bad. There's no judgment on this, but this is how we create with each other through games, okay? Now, in every relationship, there's a game. So obviously, when you're working with clients, they are presenting a game with you. And most of the time, it can be unconscious. But when you become aware of it, you can start moving into deeper levels with your client, because when you look at the game, you're looking at a particular pattern of behavior that the client is using. The pattern is what creates the game. And if once the pattern starts running, it runs and runs, it keeps going, and it repeats and it repeats and it repeats. So it's quite easy actually to recognize and identify these games as long as you allow the client to keep playing. Then we can shift those games or those patterns. That creates a shift in the client and in their life, because if they're playing a game with you, they're playing that same game somewhere else, and in fact in many areas. Last webinar, I think we talked a little bit about fractal patterns. Did we? I think so. Fractals meaning small micro repeating patterns that happen on the small level or the big level, small scale or large scale. This is another example of a fractal pattern, but this is what's happening in relationship. How you guys doing with that little intro? Is it clear, making sense?
Kinda.
Say it again, Bettina.
Kinda. I know what you're aiming for, and I'm now looking if what the result will be.
Okay, I'm going to go more into how does this directly apply to a coaching relationship? What do you do with these games when they appear? Okay, yeah. So I'll get into that as well. Wanted to know if there were any questions just on the intro. And if you have a question, Bettina, feel free to ask it. And if anyone else has a question, please let me know. I'll keep pausing along the way to see if there are questions. No questions so far. Okay, great. What I'd love then now is, I'd love to hear from you. Very briefly, now I don't have to hear from all of you, but we are a small number, 2, 4, 6, 7 people plus myself. So I wanted to know very briefly from you guys, what games have you already encountered with clients or people? But let's, if you're coaching or consulting, what games have you run into already? An example might be, it seems like my client always wants me to mother them. I always have to take care of them it's as if I'm their mother. I have to take care and I have to keep nagging them about their homework and pushing them to do actions, etc., etc. For example, so that's an example of a game.
This is Katerina. I have an example.
Okay, great.
A client who wants to impress me.
Ah, great. Wants to impress. Definitely a game. Anyone else? And also just, give a nod, raise your hand if, you've run into similar things. Clients want to impress you. Yeah. What else?
This is Philippe. I have two classical examples, I think.
Great.
One is the client who is like, well, I'm someone who really, really needs challenges. I need you to challenge me, and I need you to make me run as fast as possible. So I'm like a kind of workaholic and all that, and I want you to feed me this need in me.
Mm-hmm.
And other example is clients who look at me like a savior or a problem solver. So, well, okay. They want me to show them the direction to go in. No.
Yes.
All right. Yes. So they want me to show them the direction to make all the decisions for them and to basically push them. And I have to explain to them that it's not how it works.
Right. Good. Two very good classic games. Now, for this one where they say, I need you to push me, I need you to challenge me. Come on. Be tough. Make it tough on me. Are they depending on you for those challenges? What would they do without you?
They would look for someone else to give them challenges.
So they don't challenge themselves. They're expecting you to be doing it. Okay, great. Yeah, that's very important. Okay. Good. Anyone else? Other games that trigger up?
Well, I can relate to that situation. Like they want you to be a problem solver. I've got it more with friends because I don't have so many clients yet. But it's a friend thing, and that I have one in particular who always comes to me when something's wrong, when something's not as expected, when something really pisses him off or something like that. And I'm always in that game of, oh, my life is so shitty, or I'm so shitty, and everything's wrong or worse, or what else? What should I do? What can I do?
That's another game itself. I'm so shitty. I feel so shitty. Everything is going wrong. The poor me kind of game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have sympathy, please. Or let me dump on you. Those are two different games. Have sympathy or let me dump everything on you.
So it's both with one person.
Right. Another one can be also where either the coach or the client can play this game. Let's be friends. I need you to be my friend. Okay. Where the client says, please be my friend, or the coach is saying, please be my friend. Let me have the friend approach. Okay. That can interfere with the professionalism of the coaching. Okay. It can create some traps. Anything else? Anyone?
I think I can be related with this, with the adding complicity. My clients want complicity to organize his teams as he wants by using my help.
Using your help, and are they expecting your agreement with no argument? Or
yes.
Okay. Okay, yeah, because that is important. Use your help, expecting agreement. The other one can also be wanting your permission for them to do what they want to do. Like, oh, should I leave my wife? She's such a terrible person. And if they hear you say, oh, she is terrible, yes, let's coach you on divorcing her. Oh, good, now I can actually do that. Because they wouldn't do it themselves unless they get someone else's permission. That's a different game, but it's a little similar to what you're saying. They want that complicity. Yeah.
What I experienced is, as I said, I'm not a coach, but I work with managers, and I experience managers waiting for me to start something for them to actually start. Also, they were aware about the fact or what should have been done.
So they're waiting for you to give the go seat, or that you start.
Or to bring about the topic.
Ah, okay. Bring about the topic. Yeah.
Waiting a hint, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Or managers who were asking to be let to do how they want, but not and insisting even they would the only way they would learn is by making mistakes, and insisting on that.
Okay. So now, what's the effect of that? That they make mistakes, they're not accountable, they say, well, I'm supposed to fail, well, don't discipline me on
something like that.
So they want permission to fail with no accountability to.
Accountability.
I tried. Okay. Yes. Okay. That can be end up being very toxic and very unproductive. Yeah. In the guise of, please grow and develop me, but
yeah, Troy, I have a client who's switching roles between victim and persecutor. If he doesn't get the help that he is expecting, immediately is challenging the technique, the relationship.
Yes.
He also knows a little bit about coaching, and he's a very critical coach. Like, he's willing to quote from the ICF core competencies and to amend if something is not in place. So it's a mix between
That's great.
A game and difficult posture.
Mm-hmm.
But he's aware of the fact that he doesn't need anybody. So this is the main awareness. But maybe the problem is that I have a lot of clients, in a triangular coaching scheme, like sponsor, client, coach. I have very few clients that pay for themselves. Okay. And I managed to enter into some contracts with poor contracting from my perspective, because the sponsor just delegates and you never see him again. Mm-hmm. So maybe I should challenge a little bit the whole program, not only the coaching with the client.
It's a very good point. Many of you may be in these coaching triangles where someone else is paying for the coaching, bringing the client to you, whether that's in a corporate environment or something. Or even if you're hired in as a coaching group and you're assign the client and somebody else pays. The sponsor can also play games with you too, and they're going to play games with the client. So there can be a double game going on. Okay, so be aware of that, and they'll play some of these classic games that we're already listing. So yes, be aware of that in your contracting. I'm hoping by the end of this call, you'll be somewhat aware of games, how they work, and what you can do about them, either to renegotiate your contracts or how to negotiate differently your future contracts, and how to revisit the relationship with your clients. If you can redesign with them if needed. You'll know how to counteract some of these games. I'll give you some tips. I'll also be showing you how you can use the game to surface a hidden topic or a deeper topic. Okay, that's very much what EED uses the relationship dynamic for. There's several uses, but what we'll look at today is more. You're using the dynamic or the game to emerge a topic. That means it's revealing a pattern. Where is that pattern showing up in the life? With whom? With what? Number two, you use the game to help counteract resistance, because resistance is built into the game. So when you understand the game, you understand the resistance your client is giving you. They're not necessarily resisting you. They are more so resisting themselves. But that gets projected onto you, okay? They may not even realize they're doing it, okay? Another application of the game is later when you've made some discoveries, you've built up some resilience, resonance, maybe established some new inspiring actions with the client, then you can bring the game back to test their resilience. You want to see now in their new state of being how that affects their game. That can either make the resilience collapse so they can rebuild it, so they get used to this new mindset, or it definitely reinforces the resilience they've just anchored, and it increases. It really strengthens them staying in that new anchored resilience. This is more what we're going to look at today, plus special games and that happened between the coach and client. I mentioned some. I'm going to give you the archetype of what happened. Maybe later in the call, I could talk about some other special uses of games that we use in EED. Great. So you guys listed lots, okay? Let me give you a particular rundown on how to look for a game, okay? Now, by the way, I'm just gonna close my window here in case the background noise gets too much, because right around now in Paris, they like to collect the garbage. And so all these garbage trucks start going down the street. All right. Now, in a dynamic, in the EED courses, we identify 7 elements. There are 7 main elements to a dynamic. I'm only going to focus on 3 of these because these are most relevant to the game, just to identify what's going on in the game. What you're looking at is what's the action going on between the 2 of you. What are they doing? What are you doing back? So this has to do with action-reaction, action-reaction, okay? That then gives you an idea of, all right, then what are the roles we are playing? So number 2 is role. It takes 2 to play a game. So if you've got somebody persecuting or attacking, you've got somebody receiving that action. So they must be the attacked or the victim of the persecutor. So when you see one role, you can easily find the other because the action needs to be sent and received. It takes two to make that action complete. Does that make sense? Okay. The other thing, and this is what makes it interesting, is status. Somebody is either higher or lower. It's never equal in a game. There may be periods where it temporarily feels equal, but quickly it's going to move. So, now, status is very fluid. In one moment, I can have higher status. The next moment, you can have higher status. Okay? What I mean by status is, well, essentially, somebody holds the power. Someone has more power than the other, okay? If I'm coming from low status, I'm coming from low power. That means I'm giving you more power. Or if I'm low status, I see you, I'm giving you more power, but I don't want you to have it. I want the high status. I want to be, you know, the more powerful person in the relationship. So this relates especially to conflict. Status is very, very, very important, but status also works in the coach-client dynamic. And I'll give you some examples when we talk through this a little bit. How are you guys doing with that information? You have three main elements: action, role, and status. Very simple to look at, okay? There are two types of games being played, two main types of games. This is one, a power game. Who has control? Who is controlling whom? And then you have a validation game. All right, that validation can mean who has more knowledge? I do. Please recognize that I have more knowledge, or I want you to give me more knowledge, okay? Please, I don't have knowledge. Please give me more knowledge. Or it might be about self-worth. I'm not worthy. You are more worthy. Or I'm more worthy than you. Or it's simply about existence. Am I here? Please tell me I exist. Please tell me I'm okay, okay? So, because that can relate to existence or safety, you know, it's a little different than feeling worthy, okay? Mm-hmm. How are you guys doing with that information? You either have a power game or a validation game. Mm-hmm. As far as the coach-client dynamic is concerned, I find that the validation game happens more often than the power game, okay? In a way, coaching is set up to bring out those validation games, especially the way it's marketed. You know, I can help you, you know, have a bigger life, play a bigger game. So already we're appealing to somebody's sense of validation. We're setting up a game already, okay? Mm-hmm. In corporate culture, though, you might get a power game.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, oh, I'm the VP. You're just this coach. Well, you know, who are you, right? Mm-hmm. Or I've been forced to be here by my manager. Apparently I need, you know, to change my attitude, you know. That can be a power game as well. You guys okay on this? Is this already, any questions so far, or insights or observations on this? Doing okay? All right. What is the function of the game? Well, one is let's figure out who you are. Who are they asking you to be? Okay. Whether you're a consultant or whether you're a coach, or if you're a leader of a group, okay, or you're a manager, or you're a mediator, they're going to cast you into a role. Okay, they're putting a role on you because of the role they're already in. All right, they're already coming from a role. If they're feeling like a victim, they're going to project out the game onto you to make you their persecutor, okay, or to make you their helper, for example. Help me, I'm being victimized by the world, by this person, by that person, okay? And they're pulling you in the game that way, okay? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So to find the role, either say, who do they need me to be right now? Who are they asking me to be? Just based on what they're doing. Look at what they're doing more so than what they're saying. Because they're not always conscious of this game, okay? Or who are they behaving like? When they behave like that, how do I want to behave with them or react back, okay? Now, so two things that can come up from that. When you're getting the role, action, and status, then you can say, okay, now how do I use this? Well, one, if they're treating me like this, they're treating somebody else like that. They're treating a situation like this. So there you can already start to emerge a topic. Use that dynamic. You can name it and say, where else is this happening? Okay? It feels like you're asking me to mother you. Like I need to take care of you. What's happening? What does that sound like for you? Well, yeah, it would be nice. I mean, I like to be taken care of. Well, who in your life do you want more care from? Or who in your life are you really dependent upon? And how do you feel about that? What's going on there? Because I'll tell you, I'm getting annoyed with you. And I feel like I have to nag you. Who keeps chasing you? Right? Or who keeps criticizing you? Do you guys understand how you use the thing like a metaphor and say, where is that metaphor happening somewhere else? You don't have to know the answer. They will. What are you guys doing with that?
Yeah.
So, and that can happen at any time in the session. Now I'm going to do a demo shortly where we'll just start and I'll notice the dynamic already happened between us and I'll emerge a topic. So I'll start a demo without asking, what do you want to work on? Or what's your topic? I won't ask that, okay? We'll do that in a bit. So you'll see how the dynamic gives us a topic. The other one is, again, how are they resisting? So if they're playing a validation game or a power game, they're resisting something. They're using you either as a mask or a shield for something. Now, by the way, the next webinar is all about masks and shields. Okay, we're going to open that up in more detail. Now, I mentioned helper, that the coach can get confused as a helper to the client. And like I said, marketing already, and the industry itself gives that impression automatically many times. So you need to clean that up with your client in case they come, or they're coming to the relationship expecting you to help them, okay? I'll tell you the 3 ways you are being the helper. 1, they make you into the guru or the expert, as if you have to teach them something, okay? Oh, holier than thou coach, you know, I come for my weekly lesson with you. Please impart your eternal wisdom upon me, right? And like, oh, I just love coming to the coaching sessions with you because I learned so much from you, right? The idea of a coaching session is that they are tapping their own wisdom. They are their own expert or guru. You are simply a facilitator. You're facilitating access to that wisdom, access to their essence or resilience, as we say in EED. So they might make you into a guru. Watch for that. The next one, and it was mentioned already, where they want you to save them or rescue them. Oh, I'm in an impossible situation. Oh, you know, the way my husband comes down on me, I just don't know what to do. I'm drowning. Or, oh, my business is so overwhelming. I'm drowning. Save me. I don't know what to do anymore. Sounding familiar to any of you? I'm overwhelmed. Or I'm in such a shitty place. It's so shitty. Oh my God, it's so crappy. I don't know what to do. I'm drowning in my own shit. Oh God, it's so stinky. Oh. And they're looking at you like, throw me a rope. Throw me something to pull me out of this. Please, can you pull me out of this? Okay. That's the rescuer savior. You might even fall into that yourself when you start using your empathy or sympathy. Oh my God, my client's crying. Are they going to break down? Ooh, I better wipe those tears away. Ooh, I didn't mean to hurt you. Does that sound familiar too? Okay. The last one is being the meddler or the fixer, where you feel like you have to micromanage your client. Tell me what to do. Tell me what to think. Can you fix this for? They want you to be the problem solver. You know what? To give me some advice, right? They're asking you to fix, solve, or meddle in their business. Okay. How are you guys doing with this information? Those are the 3 ways of being a helper. Again, your job. Now, in coaching, technically, this is what we say in EED is whether you're a coach, a consultant, a mediator, or something else, when you're using EED processes, when the model, you are a very, very, very clean facilitator. As in coaching, for example, you're having the client access their own resilience so they can discover their own wisdom, so then they can apply it to their own situation. The resilience is what gives them access to more resources and creativity. If they do not feel resilient, they start into these games, they're asking for you to be resilient for them. They're asking you to give them your resilience. And that is impossible. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So in that sense, you and they are defeating the whole purpose of a coaching session, for example, because they're not accessing their own wisdom. You're defeating the purpose of a mediation session because now they're asking you to take sides. You're defeating the whole purpose of a consulting session because now they're asking you to be responsible for all the knowledge. Then they can come back and complain and criticize or even sue you for giving bad advice. Does this make sense? Sorry to be harsh. This is why being the clean facilitator, that's where you want to be. But you'll get pulled to any of those other 3 roles, okay? So watch for it. So part of the game is, do you play that role or not? Normally I'm going to say move back into the facilitator role, get them back into their own resilience, okay? The other way is you can play along with their game to see what they really want, to see what they're really hiding from themselves, okay? Now that might be discussed more detail on the next webinar about masks and shields, because they use that coach-client game particularly as shields. Okay, questions, and then I'll do a short demo. Questions, observations, insights. What are you taking in with this information so far, and how is it already helpful to you? I need to rest my voice. That's why I'm asking questions.
Well, I think for me the interesting thing is to really get the grip on being just a clean facilitator. I think that's something I have to work on in friendship relationships also, because there's such a blurring line between my friends being my friends and I with my coach wisdom sometimes kind of coaching them because I'm tired of the friendship games, like, oh yes, he's so stupid, go away, find another man, blah, blah, blah. So I started kind of sometimes doing little coaching sessions, and now I'm kind of in a game with them that they want my advice.
Yes.
And now to pull back and being just a facilitator might be a good way.
Yes.
So I have to get a grip on that. That would be nice if we can.
But by the way, I have to say, Bettina finished module 1 last month in Munich. So
yeah,
what I'm going to say back to you is, yes, Bettina, just use the EED model, the simple loops we give you. Be the clean facilitator with non-interference, because when they try to pull you into a coach role, it's exactly as you said. They're trying to get you to give them advice, or they're trying to get you to rescue, or they're trying to get you to meddle. So it's not a true coach role. But they'll say, oh, but you're a coach. Oh, but maybe you can help me here. And they're going to try and get a free session out of you. Mm-hmm. Or it can happen the opposite way. If you start feeling pulled into some coachy role, they're going to say, wait a minute, are you coaching? What are you doing? What are you doing? You know, don't coach me. Just be my friend. But then they'll ask unconsciously for you to coach them. The great thing with EED is you don't have to be a coach. You simply can do this clean facilitation without wearing a coaching hat. This makes clean human interactions where you are simply facilitating the way for them to find their own resilience, and you don't need to be guru, rescuer, or meddler, okay?
Okay.
I would say that is one big difference between EED and other coaching methods, because we've went a step further to say, what really does it mean to facilitate someone's own awareness so they can access their own consciousness, be autonomous, have their own sovereignty without you interfering or imposing anything. Yet you're still in active relationship. It's a bit of a paradox, okay? This is why EED is based a lot on not just questions, but also provocation. You need to both provoke and question in order to get the person thinking for themselves. If you only ask questions, they run out of steam. If you only provoke, they'll feel cornered or they'll get dependent on you, okay? So EED does a very balance between that. So the whole model was designed to be this clean facilitator. All right. Any other comments or questions? And I'm going to model exactly that, the provoking and the questioning in the demo. Any other comments, questions, insights on these roles?
I have many insights.
Yes.
Because sometimes I saw that clients play different roles in the same sessions.
Oh yeah, they'll switch. They'll switch around.
Yes. And sometimes in different moments of the all packages that I offer, they have different moments that they play their favorite roles. And wow. And I think, yes, I will also see the record to have more, how can I say, to this process, go deeper. Okay. Because this is the second time I participate, and really I noticed the difference and how more effective is your approach, because it also make me more aware of how these roles are playing together.
Yes. Look, the more awareness you have, the more you have to work with, the more options you've got.
Yes.
You don't have to depend on tools and techniques. It's more about awareness and then having a freedom of options to choose, a menu of options. The way we work with EED is you've got options in every moment. And with each module, you'll be aware of more and more options. But once you choose an option, follow it through. And when you follow it through, you get somewhere. Then you're going to see, now I have another set of options, and you follow that through. So this is what makes it really organic, unique. You respect your own style. You respect the style and language of your client as well. But it doesn't feel random or aimless either, because you know you have choices. So this makes you very intentional, either as a coach, a consultant, a leader, or anything, okay? You become very intentional. And why? Because you have more awareness, and you know how to provoke more awareness in the client. That's the basic foundation, okay? Like I said, we have 8 levels of awareness. So I was thinking of 2 things I might want to do. So I wanted to do a brief demo just so I could show you how we can surface a dynamic. And then I think I'd like to walk you through a few of these games and give you some antidotes of how do you counteract that game? How do you get it back into clean facilitator role? Does that sound okay for you guys? And that should fill the time, because I can pull back from the examples you guys gave at the beginning, and we can analyze it together, right? So why don't I do a short demo? I'm going to keep it really short because it doesn't take long to surface a topic from the dynamic, okay? Might even be able to go 2 rounds, okay? Who's interested to work with me? And yes, we are recording, so yes, we will be recorded during this demo, but the recording is only distributed amongst you already on the webinar. I'm not distributing it outside of that, okay? Because this is really recorded for your reference. We're just going to surface the topic. We're not going to dive into the topic also, okay? And you won't even know what you're going to be talking about, so. Who's interested? Who's up?
I want.
Aida, okay, excellent. So, how's your energy right now? You look quite peaceful. What's going on? Or are you smiling? Yeah.
I just want to stand better because I want to be aware of what you talk and about what others.
Do you feel slow?
A little bit.
Yeah. How does that affect you being slow? What's in that smile? You went, yeah. You don't have to tell me why.
Okay.
Just say, what are you feeling or experiencing when you do this?
Okay. I feel a little embarrassed.
Yeah.
Because usually I am in a better position.
Better position. Okay. Yeah, I feel like I really have to slow myself down with you. Normally, I'm very, very, very fast. Zip, 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 zip. But I have to really slow myself down. That makes you smile. How are you reacting right now when I say this? Ooh. I have to really slow down for Aida. What just happened in that smile? What's good?
I feel a little bit faster than you.
Oh, okay. You just changed the game on me.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Now, previous game. If I just take a moment to name what I call name the essence of the moment, or name the game. Previous game, if I name it, and I'll check with you, could be, Aida is the slowest person in the class, but she's normally used to being first. How does that sound to you? True, not true, or something else? That's the first game we were playing.
This is what I want to
I want to be the first, but normally I'm not always the first.
Okay, great. Let's work with that for a second. So where in your work or your life are you feeling like, I'm never first? I can never seem to get there. I want to, but I'm not first. What comes up now? Spontaneous.
In my
that.
I don't know to say in English.
Okay, but we'll say it in Romanian. Someone can translate it.
Alina, în privința corporalității, în privința faptului că nu pot să ajung acolo unde îmi doresc
Physically, okay.
So she would like to probably to be more fit.
Okay, fit in your personal life. Are you in competition with anyone?
I think I was, but now I'm in competition with me in other times.
Okay, great. This brings us to the second game where you turn the tables and say, well, now I'm faster than you, right? Welcome, Haldora. Welcome. So how competitive are you? Hi.
Hi.
Welcome, Haldora. Yeah.
Thank you.
And I'm going to use that into the game. Where do you like to surprise people, Aida? And go, oh, and suddenly, now I'm first. Haha, I tricked you.
I think with my friends.
Yeah. In what way? Or, yeah, what are you trying to do to them or with them?
Maybe to show them that that I'm good.
That you're good. Is it that you're good enough or that you are better? Or both?
Both.
And let's dig down. Are you better than them?
What?
Are you better than them? Even they might act better than you, but are
maybe
yes. Okay. Yes, you are better than them. Okay, good. All right. So we've got two topics, actually three. One, physical fitness, your own health. Do you measure up to yourself? How demanding are you around your own physical fitness? Okay. And that's definitely a game you play with yourself, because there's going to be a voice saying you're not fit enough, another voice that says I can't keep up, I don't want to exercise. That's already a polarity. By the way, all games contain polarity. Yeah. So it's like you have two competing voices. In Module 2, we show you how to expand the details of that game and how to neutralize both those voices so you come back to resilience, okay? If I was going to go further, I would demo that, okay? But I just really want to show you how quickly you can get something on the table. For that topic, you being in competition with yourself around your own physical fit, how relevant or important is that for you right now in your life on a scale of 1 to 10?
8. From 8 to 9, I think.
Okay. All right. The other one, you in relationship with your friends, okay? Are these your social circles, or do you have a specific friend or two you're talking about? Is it a group or
I think closer friends.
Closer friends? And it's like you're never feeling like you can keep up, but you know you're actually better, but they won't see it. True or not true?
Almost.
So make it true. What is the rest, or what else is in there?
In that group,
Yeah.
there are a few which recognize my skills.
Your skills. Do they say that out loud to the other friends? Oh no, Ida, she's good. She's got skills.
No.
Aha. No. Okay. So, feeling a lack of support and undervalued by your friends. Would that be the topic? The door.
Yes.
Okay. How relevant or important is that in your life? Scale of 1 to 10.
5.
Okay. I heard a third topic, and just in general, is competition. Feeling competitive. There. How relevant is that for you? Scale of 1 to 10. Being competitive. Either it works for you or against you. Where do you feel it? Does it work for you or against you, being competitive?
Against me.
Where? You might here, and then what feels like, aha, yeah, this is really hard for me, or it's not working well.
I think in maintain my
physical fitness. Again.
Yes.
So it's back there. Okay, so competition relates back there. So now what if I said, well, competition can work against you, but also it could be a natural strength. We take the energy of the competition and turn that into a resilient strength, a force. How would that be?
I did that in the other times.
Yeah.
But I cannot
maintain it.
Yes.
Okay. How important is that for you to maintain your energy and motivation and drive? Ha.
I want to say 10.
Oh, fine. Good. Do you guys see how just from that little interaction, we got like 4, and I'm even thinking, oh, there might be a 5th one in here too. But I mean, that's quite a bit to choose from. And I never asked her, what do you want to work on? And it was really just from the first moment of what's going on between us. Okay. That's pretty rich for a session. If we were going to work for an hour, I mean, we might cover 1, 2, maybe 3. What I believe is they all work together. It all came out of the same moment. They relate. With EED, we'll just see which one has the potential for the most resilience, but also where she's most invested in this last one. Maintaining that energy. You saw how engaged she was. then we can get into her resilience, build that up, and then we can come back and test it. Okay, from this new resilience, how is it to do fitness? How is it to be competitive? How is it to be with your friends? We can apply it to all of those back, okay? Is that making sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
But it's pretty good. I got an 8 out of a 10 and a 10 out of a 10, and there was a 5, but that led to the 10, you see? So, how many minutes is that? Yeah, we were working at a extra slow pace, so it was about 10, and I could have done it in 5, just to make you feel bad, Aida. I know you could be faster. See, now she's looking at me. She's like, I'm going to turn it around again. She's going to get that revenge on me. Do you guys notice that when she flipped the table, I don't know if you saw that, Haldora, but I keep that in my back pocket as one of her strengths. She's mischievous, and there's a resilience there. So I really liked it when she flipped the game, because she decided, nope, not playing that. I'm going to flip the table. We can turn that into a strength. There is a trap in it, though, where that could be a way she runs away as well. So during the sessions, I would be addressing both. Does that make sense? But the first place I go is, how are these strengths? How is this resilience? Okay. And if I keep getting a resistant game, then I need to start playing that. Okay. Now, questions or observations on that small demo, just bringing it to the surface, and what do you learn from it? What's useful for you? Okay. Because I know all of you can already play with this and apply it. Observations, questions. Yeah. And thank you, Aida, for playing. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone? And I'll even ask, well, how was this? Just your general impression. Impressed? Not impressed? Did it look like magic, or does it look impossible or possible? So just to even start from there.
Well, Troy, I think already that I talk too much, so I'm waiting for.
No. You guys are playing now. It's
yeah.
like, oh, you guys take the spotlight. I don't want it. Come on. No.
I'm pretty amazed about. I'm trying to model every second, every posture, every tonality. I even look at your ocular globe to see how do you pace the client. How do you maintain the rhythm with the client? You know, when it's stuck and when it doesn't. She doesn't find the words. You don't take anything like it is a fault of the process, or we need to take it back into the backstage and retake the second scene. Everything you use. So this amazed me, because you can even coach a client who speaks a totally different language.
That's right. Yeah. and I was aware of language difficulty, but I didn't want to mention it in the game. I could have, and that would have brought out other games. So I just chose not to. Yes, I was aware.
And this gave the client a lot of confidence, and she was immediately felt confident and began to smile, and she didn't pay attention to how to formulate the words, and this is a very powerful posture, because regardless if you're a coach or a manager or a friend or anything, because I think we tend to hold back on us, because everyone is watching, is judging, And
Yes.
I think this game of judging, watching and judging, like in the theater, it's also between the customer and the client and the coach. I'm still struggling to extract the scheme, you know, the logical.
All right. Well, I mean, but that's
I'm not present yet. Yeah, because
that's why you're going to eventually take the modules, so then you see the
definitely
that I actually am following.
Yeah.
But it allows me to be very organic, to be very present with the client. I'm not doing too many prescriptive things, but I am following more of a meta arc, I could call it, brand arc of behavior.
Yeah.
Now, what I'll say is I'm not aware of how I'm using my eyes or my voice, okay? So I want to be very clear that I'm focused beyond that, but it's going to create a natural alignment of how my voice changes and how my facial expression changes, okay? So I don't do, like, let's say NLP, where I'm never asking you to say when they look left, that means this, or when they look right, that means that. Or raise your voice now, lower your voice now. That's too busy, way too busy. You'll lose connection with client, okay? What I am doing, number one, and this is a premise for everything you do in EED as a foundation. You do recognize what's going on. You just simply, okay, so she's at a slower pace. Fine. I am gonna judge it. I mean, that's my human nature, and I know she's judging herself too. Okay, she's constantly judging herself right from when we start. I don't know what those judgments are, but we act on those judgments. Now, with EED, you are trained to recognize, yes, you will judge, but then you put the judgment temporarily aside and you move into acceptance. So it is what it is. Oh, the client has a slower energy. Okay, that's what it is. I'm not going to try and change it, because some people would, whether they're uncomfortable or it doesn't work with their tools, they're going to say, I wish she was faster, or I wish she was even slower, because it can happen. This client's too fast. They don't feel their emotions enough. They need to slow down, breathe. You know, that can be a whole other game. No. I accept and I adapt. So immediately, because what I'm trying to do is get in her game. So I am matching her energy. I'm slipping into her game. So I'm slowing myself down. Now, I want to see how she reacts. And then there's, I can start playing along, or I can counteract. I could on purpose start going faster and faster to see how she plays back. That's a little bit more advanced. We discussed those kinds of techniques in Module 2, but that's another option I had. What I did was I chose to match her, okay? And I'm tracking what's going on. I keep articulating now what's her behavior. What is she doing? How is she reacting? But every time I articulate, I come back with a question to find out what she's aware of, or to find out what she's experiencing, okay? For example, I said, aha, now you're smiling. Well, I said, what's going on? And then she was like, well, how do I answer this? I could see it in the face, like, I'm supposed to explain this. So I articulated again. I said, no need to explain. Just tell me what you're explaining when you smile. I got an echo. Maybe I might be. Now it's gone. It just might have been from someone. So what I'm doing, I articulate and I ask a question so that they are more aware of how they're responding now, okay, or how they react to what I just pointed out. That is our primary loop in EED: articulate and invite their response, okay? That's a constant. But what I'm also doing then is I name key moments. Aha, so it's like it's as if you're the slowest in the class, but you want to be faster. That's naming the key moment. then link that to their life. Where is that happening for you? Where are you feeling like you're slower than anyone else? Or with whom, right? Have them make it specific. You don't have to make the link. You just invite them to make the association. They make the link themselves. So the classic question is, where is this happening in your life or with whom? Yes, Aida, you had a comment there.
Free association.
Yeah, basically, it is.
Like in psychoanalysis?
It could be, yeah. So, I mean, another example could be, well, it feels like I have to hold you very, very precious, as if you're going to break right now. Who is treating you this way? Mm-hmm. Or who do you behave this way with, right? Or where do you feel like you could just break apart? You know, you can be very creative here. You just want to get the relationship going, name the key moment, link that moment to their life, okay? Now, we work this in much more detail during Module 1. You get a whole, right on the first day, you get a whole, part of the afternoon, plus the next day, we do it again and again and again, where you just keep digging up these dynamics and linking them to the client's life, so they personalize it. Does that help you, Cesar, answer your observations there?
Yes, it definitely helps me, and even more, it makes me realize of my concerns and thinking patterns during the coaching sessions, and
yes.
I realize it's about me. It's not about what's going on out there. Because I'm trying to compare myself with you and with your technique and how to say I need to do this.
Incomparable. I am I joke with you.
No, I wouldn't catch the joke.
No.
Yeah.
I'm so happy, Cesar, that you like to analyze everything and absorb it and figure it out, but also be compassionate with yourself. You have not taken the modules yet. You don't have all the keys to the kingdom. You're getting little crumbs, but you're doing very, very well with every crumb you get, okay? All will come clear once you're in the modules. Yeah, you'll get it, but already you're getting a lot, so. But don't put so much pressure on yourself. Don't compare to me. Just to add, I wanted to say in EED, there are no mistakes, there are no accidents, okay? You do create from everything. That goes along with recognize and accept what's happening now. Many times in a coaching, you'll ask a question and the client, either they didn't understand the question or they gave you some weird answer that's totally left field. That's not an accident. It's either a game or they interpreted the question their way. You go with it, okay? You can either name what just happened or you keep following with fascination where they're taking themselves. So yeah, you can't go wrong in that sense. When you come from acceptance and adaptability and flexibility. So that is very important to train in yourself. That's a personal training, okay? Cultivating more acceptance. Other observations or questions? Is that clear enough on how you can surface a topic just from the dynamic, the game going on between you and the client? Now, what I want you to know is I'm coming from an attitude of, she's not doing this to me. I'm representing something. Okay? Even if she thinks she's doing it to me, I'm still thinking, I represent something. So for example, you get a client that starts getting aggressive with you or defensive. Okay, that's another game. You don't have to take it personally. Understand that you represent something or someone. They may not be aware of it, but they are working out the game or pattern with you. So this is very, very important. Even when the client, because it was mentioned by Cesar, the client can start saying they know better. They know the ICF competencies. They're criticizing me that I'm not doing a good enough job. Okay, you might want to take that personally, but you don't have to, because they're moving into the game of I'm better than you, and let me put you down. They're taking high status. And they're criticizing. That's the action. So they're doing a role, which could be the critic or the teacher or the surveyor, anything. And you're the recipient. You're the victim or the criticized person, okay? So they're doing that to other people, or they feel other people do that to them. Yes, who had a comment, question?
The object.
The object, yeah. Yeah, yes. This is so important, especially when people are learning new skills, or like for new coaches, when I supervise them, they collapse these games with, they think they're doing a bad job, and they get sensitive. Right? And I say, no. That's a whole separate thing. Of course you can improve, but the client is actually picking up on your level of self-esteem, or how you might be thinking you're incompetent here or there. They unconsciously pick up on that, and they'll use it. This will become relevant in the next webinar when we talk about masks and shields, because they'll use that as a shield, especially if you touched a hot button. Okay? When you start getting a strong game, you know you've got a hot button going on. Okay? Here's what I want to do for the remaining time, or a couple minutes here, and then I'll start closing it down. Just wanted to look at a couple of these games, and let's see, you guys, let's analyze it real simply from action, role, and status. Okay, let's use the team as an example. Oh, I'm such a crappy person. let me tell you about all my crap. Oh, please have pity on me. Can I just dump on you a little bit more of my crap? Can you just be a good friend to me? Okay, what's the action? What's the action or role or status? Anyone?
So I think the status in this one is that the client gives up the power to the coach.
Yeah, low status, giving you all the power. Yes.
Yeah.
Their role, your role. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not sure. I think I would put him in a receiving mode. He wants to receive something, so he wants to put you in the mode of kind of an attacker. Either
you attack or you got to send. If they're receiving, you've got to send. Now, okay, if he starts suddenly getting defensive with you, that's a different game. Now you're in the role of attacking. So, like, for example, you could say, oh, geez, I feel so shitty, so crappy, so many shitty things are happening. And you say, well, it's not that bad. And then he goes, oh, well, you just don't know. You just haven't lived the crap I live. Okay, now you're attacking me. Do you understand? Because I'm defending so strong. You did nothing. Do you understand? I changed the game. Does that make sense to you guys, what I'm saying? They switch role, okay? So good. Role and action kind of almost could collapse together, because, they inform each other. And then you just look at status. Where's the power or the validation, okay? Who's low, who's high? Let's try another one. The client wants to impress you. This came from Katerina, who's not on the call anymore. She had to leave, I guess. But the client really wants to impress you. So what might that look like? What might they be doing?
They're looking for validation.
Looking for validation in what way?
they want you to recognize that they're able. They want to hear from an outside voice that they are competent.
Okay. So now, what I'm going to say, when it's important, because there's another game they could play where they're fishing for compliments. Okay, that's different. Okay, where they're playing a fishing game. Please tell me I'm all right. Please tell me I'm a good person. Okay, that's different than I want to impress you. Okay, look, I am. Do you see how competent I am? Do you see how much I know? Do you see how I can feel and access my emotions? You guys understand the difference?
Mm-hmm.
So you'll say, so what are you feeling? Oh, well, I feel sad right now. I feel sad in my stomach. My stomach is all in knots, you see. So these are kind of the easy clients to work with, right? I'll show you. I'm not just sad. I feel sad, and I even have little tears in my eyes. Do you see how impressive I am? I'm a really good client. Do you guys get that? Or they may want to impress you with their knowledge or their competence. So they are showing off, or they're telling you exactly what you want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Watch out for those. That's a game. Well, what value are you honoring? Oh, I'm valuing my honor of self-care. I'm very aware of my value of self-care. See, I'm a good client. I know about values. You see? You guys get that? Okay. High status or low status when they want to impress you?
So,
I think the clients who have the high status because they have the power.
Could be, yes. There's several options here, okay?
Yeah.
There isn't one black or white answer here. Somebody said both. Did I hear that?
I said low.
Low, okay. Yes. It could be low, it could be high, it could be both.
Both.
Okay? It's going to look different if they're coming from low status because they're going to constantly check back to you for validation. You see, did I give the right answer? You see? That's low status. High status is, well, I know. Do you see? You see already how impressive I am. I'm impressed. They might even want to take over the session, start coaching themselves because they can do it better. And isn't that impressive? You see, I don't even need you as a coach. My boss sent me in here. I could do it myself. Do you see how impressive I am? That's a high status. Do you get the difference? Both could be where they go back and forth, or they're coming from low and they wish they could be high. Okay? Usually not the other way around, where they come from high and wish to be low. Not many people want to be low status, unless they think that's where they get all the power. Okay. Yeah, that's a little bit like Irina, it's a little bit like asking for complicity. I'm expecting your agreement, or I need to use your help. That's a similar game, okay? How do you counteract it? Any of these games? So first step is play the game first. Play it. If they're being low status and they want you to be high, take on the high status and see what it does. Okay? See where it takes them. You can also turn it around. It's like, well, you obviously want me to rescue you. Of course I can. I can pull you out of that water. But it feels like you're going to pull me in and drown me. What's it like to hear that? Or, of course, I could give you lots of advice and I could give you, lots of tips. But how is it when I give that to you first and you swallow that whole and then you've never had a good idea for yourself? What's that feel like? Oh, that would be wonderful. Great. So do you want me to come home with you and make every decision for you? Shall I hold your hand while you eat dinner? And shall I tell you what you're supposed to tell your kids? Shall I also hold your hand when you take a shower so I can make all the decisions for you as to should you wash your face first or your hands? Do you guys understand what you can take the game to the extreme? But get their response. What's it like to hear that? Oh, well, that's ridiculous. Okay, great. Well, we're here for you to look at your own knowledge first before I give you knowledge. Okay? That makes sense. So you could play the game. You can exaggerate the game to see how they respond, or do like Aida did, turn it around. Play their role better. Another tip. I think it was even in the last webinar, I gave this example where if I say, oh, you'll say, hey, okay, so what are you going to do this week? Well, I guess I could make 3 phone calls. And you'll say, well, are you going to do it? That's a game, right? They're waiting for you to make up their mind. You'll say, well, oh, no, let me push you, make 10. Or the other game, like, no, that's not, I should be doing 20. Why aren't you telling me 20? Did you get it? Turn it around and say, well, it's up to you. You don't even have to do this. Oh, okay. Great, we're done. But wait, what do you mean we're done? You see, then they have to come back at you, stronger, taking a position. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. That's the game. Turn it around. See, that's a game. Like, oh, come check in with what's going on with me. You can do it right back to them. Say, well, okay, whatever. See, you guys are laughing. I do it long enough. Somebody has to come in there. We don't like that uncomfortable silence. Do you understand? I flipped it. So if you flip the role, play it better. Okay? Making sense, you guys? So we're coming at time. I just wanted to say to you guys, you all getting a recording of this webinar. So like for Haldora, you'll get the beginning of you'll get to hear the whole beginning. For those of you that have to leave, you'll get the end. I also wanted to say so you'll receive that tomorrow. I'll give you the recording link tomorrow or late tonight. With that, you'll also be getting a special discount on EED courses if you're interested in taking the modules. We learn all about these games and relationship awareness in Module 1, and then Module 2 takes the games in more detail and further on how you can play and counteract, okay? So you'll get a 15% off Module 1 or the whole series. That offer is good for a week, okay? We won't be starting modules up again in Munich and Paris until October, so you've got lots of time. But I'm saying, if you know, take advantage of the discount, sign up, you just put down a deposit, that's it. Then you can pay the rest later. It's due 4 weeks before the course or something. Toronto, we also have coming up in May, but I said I might adjust the dates, but also Toronto is in the fall too. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook. The address is at EE Dynamics. Okay, it's on both. EE Dynamics on Facebook or Twitter. It's great for you to follow us or post or give some feedback on the webinar. Encourage others to take the webinars as well. And then you can also join the mailing list, and then you'll get occasional. I don't use it often. It's just more to announce new dates for courses or any special offer. I'm going to start being more active. I'll send out more tips and stuff like that. You won't see that until maybe next month. But I'd love to know what you're leaving with, what you've learned, or what are some cool insights you walk away with. And if you have to leave now, that's okay. I'm staying. I know I'm going a little over time. Yeah, thank you, Haldora. I'm just going to pull up. Yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't realize you're in Iceland, all the way up in Iceland. Okay, that's my dream to go there. I really want to go. Like, in the summer, in the summer months. I want to experience that 24-hour daylight. It's beautiful there. So anyone, yeah, not all of you have to share, but I'd just love to know what feels like a cool learning insight or something concrete that you're going to use and walk away with. And that'll help close the call.
I loved, I liked very much what did you said about ventilating or using first the knowledge of the client and then bringing extra knowledge. So I think it's a huge resource in a coaching session to not to bring extra complexity, extra knowledge from the coach. I'm holding on my teacher skills, my training skills, and trying to develop my coaching skills and not bring any more complexity, but use whatever the client is giving into the relationship. I think this is awesome.
If they're asking for complexity or asking for that sympathy, no, it's a game. It's tempting to want to give, but put it back on them. That all it means is they're taking low status and they're not feeling it. So
but I still find it very difficult to do.
I mean, we can't cover all the details in 90 minutes, but I can give you some ideas.
Yeah, but
that's why you learn the details. Yeah.
You know, it's annoying to. I thought after the first webinar I will be just like Troy. So. No. But it's happened nothing on my side. So I still need to make push-ups.
Yes,
you like Troy. Yeah.
If you'd learn everything in 90 minutes, I would charge for these webinars. This is why they're free, because I give you a taste and I give you something to work with. But that, EED is a discipline. It's very, 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 very rich. But I don't hide stuff from it. So, okay, who else?
I can add some.
Yeah, Philippe.
More on the tools side. I've been moving very much in my coaching. I've been moving very much towards being compassionate and listening, and with my coaches, of course. And it's really useful to see that I can use more things like judgment and teasing my client, and just to get a reaction. So, of course, for a good cause, to get a reaction that I can use and mask them.
Yes, and I want to put a disclaimer with that. You can use your judgments, you can use your cruelty, right? Mm-hmm. But at the base of it, you are still very benevolent and you are engaging with their resilience. It's just a provocation. And the other thing is you are more interested in their reaction. What's the reaction that comes from it, okay?
Yes.
So it's like if you're going to move away from compassion and be temporarily cruel or poke them, it's a hot chili pepper. You don't want too many hot chili peppers in the session, okay? Because otherwise it just gets too hot and spicy. Again, just throw a pinch at them and then you get the ouch. And it's the ouch that matters, okay? I just want to be very clear. You are always coming from compassion.
Yes,
the other, also notice if you try to take advantage of your compassion. So that's when they're asking again for sympathy or making you feel obligated. Again, that's a game, okay? Mutual. Excellent, excellent. So yeah, that's part of your range, Philippe, yes. It's not just compassion. Good, who else?
Or acceptance.
And how is that useful for you, or how do you want to use it, or because it's highly, it's very, very broad. What's insightful for you around acceptance, Aida?
I think that when you accept the the people in front of you, either they are clients, patients, or people, friends.
Yes.
You can speak with them, not judging them and not thinking that they play game
On purpose or on gets
counter
Against.
yeah.
against
Yes,
you.
against. Yeah, exactly. Very good.
Like you said, they transfer their pattern
Yes.
uh,
To you.
to you. Yes.
Mhm. What I'll add too is acceptance it allows people to open up quickly. When
Yes.
you come from acceptance, they open up very quickly. When nothing is taboo, they accept themselves, they see you accepting them, they begin to accept themselves. There's more flow in the relationship. Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Excellent. Anyone else? Let's hear from one more, if there's one more, and then we'll close. All right. Too late. No. Please have fun. Be very fascinated about the games now you see happening around you. Know that you get called into games, whether these are in your professional relationships or your personal. Don't take it too personally. Know that they are calling you into their game. And yes, you can play along. Just know that if you resist the game, that might pull you in even more, okay? So these games can't hurt you, but when you become aware, you have more choices, okay? There's much more I can say around games, how to play and how to get out of the game. But before you try to get out of the game, actually find what's useful and creative in the game, okay? Games are there for a reason, and games never go away. So EED uses the game to lead us to more resilience, okay? And then we can apply the resilience back into the game. So we actually reconcile games with essence. So you can move back and forth between the two, okay? So just become aware of the games and then use some of the tips when when you get pulled out of the facilitator role, okay? Put yourself back in. Thank you, everyone. This was a pleasure. Thank you for participating. And the next webinar is working with masks and shields. So feel free to join us next month on May 3rd. Thank you, and I'll see you all soon.